colored. So that would be just about 99.99% of us. We would be considered colored. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant. He was later granted a transfer to a hospital department to study medicine. According to Army records, he died in Brownsville, Tennessee in 1882. And of course, that's from the source at the bottom. In 1915, Albanian Muslims possibly founded the first American masjid in Biddeford, Maine. The first masajid often served as mainly cultural centers, where Muslims could preserve major practices of their homeland and worship. Construction of masajid sped up in the 1920s and 1930s, and by 1952, there were over 20 masajid in the U.S. The first fully functional masajid in our area, southeastern Michigan that is, were founded in Dearborn, Detroit, and Highland Park between 1935 and 1970. There's the source at the bottom. In the early 1900s, Islam was used to empower Black Americans in the fight for social equality. So this is actually, in this era here, the era of the Great Depression in the 1920s and the era of post-prohibition. Whereas a lot of people even forget or don't even know that at one time alcohol, the sale or use of alcohol was illegal in the United States. And you know, a lot of cultural things we see nowadays in the United States were not permitted when religion was more important. So once again, this is why we're having this presentation, to show the Muslim that our ethics and our values aren't abnormal. And there's become a need, once again, for the moral American. We're going to get into this more. The Moorish Science Temple of America, founded by Drew Ali in 1913. The Nation of Islam, founded by W. Fard Muhammad in 1930. So these are just two groups that sort of had a, how can I say, a quasi-Islamic type of understanding and methodology, but they saw inside of the Quran equality and justice, and they used Islam as sort of a vehicle or an incubator to reprieve or to refine African Americans who were downtrodden in this country during that era. Throughout the 1950s and 1970s, Islam became known as a major advocate for justice and morality. That's a fact. And some of you know this because if your family is second and third generation, then some of you were coming into the country during this time, and you even experienced some of this alongside of the whole American experience. Such personalities as Malcolm Shabazz, or who? Malcolm X. Everybody knows Malcolm X. Actually, a couple of days ago, wasn't it the anniversary of his assassination? A couple of days ago. Imam W.D. Muhammad. Imam W.D. Muhammad, rahimahullah, son of Elijah Muhammad and leader of the largest mass conversion to Islam in U.S. history. They say almost 200,000 people at one time came into Islam under his leadership. That is big. That is big. And even some of his followers, did you know they call him a mujaddid? That's a big title. Mujaddid means a reformer, of course. Most of you know this. They call Imam W.D. Muhammad, rahimahullah, a reformer. That he was one that is sent every so many years, every 100 years to revive the deen.